Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to some more Final Fantasy 16. Of course, we have another late night stream because I just got home and just got done eating dinner and said good night to my dad and did all the stuff that I needed to do to be an adult today. So now it's time for me to be a gamer again, just for a little bit, as I'm doing some more laundry and I need something to keep me occupied. Also, this is just a very good game. So once again, please bear with me as I do the whole sharing thing, and we will be up and running in a few minutes. And as we are getting this whole thing underway, just a few things to go over. First of all, if you do not know me, and this is your first stream, this is a very odd stream for you to be at because it is quite smack dab in the middle of the series, or maybe even towards the end. But it's fine. Sorry. My name is Beastcat or Robert, depending on how you want to address me. I am the main host of this channel here. So hello, welcome. If you like my content here, please feel free and consider subscribing. It is the end of September here. I don't think it's quite the final week yet, but I do know that the final week allows gift subs to be discounted as well, so there's that. I don't necessarily ask for it, but I figure, you know, just once while it's on my mind, might as well give it a shot there. Also, once again, we are getting into endgame territory here. So if you do not want to be spoiled on the ends or some of the ending segments of Final Fantasy 16, I thank you for popping in, but implore you to find your way out and hope to see you again soon. I will be streaming some more Kingdom Hearts 2 tomorrow with my friend Suzie. We will be doing some of the kind of post-game stuff, going through the expansion and whatnot, and just getting ready for the big fights. And if you're looking for more content down below, there are links to everything. It's mostly YouTube stuff. That's where we mainly operate, but you get my friends there as well. My friend Chris, just earlier today with Suzie, started his play through of Devil May Cry 1, which I'm definitely going to go back to see later. And yeah, that's really all I got for right now. Not much else is going to be going on this week due to lovely work bullshit, meaning them scheduling me for second shift. And second shift is from 2 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which I could do what I'm doing today and just stream when I get home. But I don't want to be doing that all the time. Because as much as I love to think of myself as a night owl, this still kind of kicks my ass. Just a little bit. I'm also just trying to buy time because this is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. Once again, drink every time that you hear me say that in these streams. You'll be fucking knocked the fuck out before the first hour ends. Trying to do all this shit on the laptop is difficult. Okay, I think that is about everything. I hope so, at least. Yeah, you get the show on the road before shit gets even later. Mm, 8 minutes. It's not necessarily a record, but I've done worse. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so in the last episode, we had gone face to face with King Barnabas, and lost very badly. But through that loss and through that darkness and trying to figure out who we are in terms of Ultima and the world and the gods and everything, we became closer finally with one of the people that has been by our side the entire time. We became very close with Jill, and it was a lovely scene, and I loved it so much. It was late, but I loved it. So now we need to find a plan of attack on how to get through to Ash and take down the final Mother Crystal. Because Odin is very strong. But before we do that, we have a lot of quests to do. We got a lot to take care of here.
What will it be today? What is it that you wish to learn? Here's the latest information I have.
Ah, yes, we also got the power of Shiva last time. Yep. Certain Serpent, we also found out that Sleipnir, who I don't know why is EGI. I don't know what that means. So from the Sleipnir, the one that has always been by Barnabas' side, is nothing more than a creation of Odin. Been separated from us this entire time? Okay, yeah, no, there was a whole thing there. Now Dion has been separated once again, but we also have the medicine girl who found him.
Here you are.
Yep, across the sea and just got onto the Shadow Coast. We did not make it to Elude. We had to retreat back.
The state of the realm is ever changing, Clive.
That it is. That it is.
Heard the bad news then, did you?
What bad news?
About Dravost. Blackthorn's old haunt. With the forge and all that. Well, anyway, the mines just down the road from there are spewing out ether like no one's business.
And the village?
Safe from the flood for now, but they've got other problems. Akashic. Every creature in the area is either turned or on the way to turning, apparently. Zoltan and the others are living on borrowed time. They need help, and quick. Doris sent a few curse breakers to keep an eye on things, but there's only so much a couple of scouts can do. Except get eaten. If something ain't done soon, the old place will be overrun.
Well, of course we need to help.
I won't let that happen.
Didn't think you would.
Does Blackthorn know?
I thought it might be better if he didn't. He'd only do something stupid. You reckon we should tell him?
No. It's better this way.
Yeah.
Besides, he's gonna know. He's gonna figure it
I can't
out.
stand about knowing what's happening out there, so I'm off. I'll see you in Dravost.
Thank you, headphones. Stop being a pain. Have I been in here? I don't think I have.
You look just like a princess. And you look like the princess.
Have I passed by this place? Has that been open this entire time and I've never been in there? I wouldn't necessarily put that past myself. Alright, what else we got? What's up, Owen?
Ah, Sid. Just the man I was hoping to see. Did you have a mo?
Don't tell me. You need more bomb ash.
Oh no, we still got plenty of that left. I'm working on bringing another one of the Chief's designs to life. This time, it's a new smelter. It's got a reverberatory hood over the top for additional thermal amplification and a system of reciprocal recirculatory regenerators that let's just say it gets very blimmin' hot. A heck of a lot hotter than anything Blackthorn's got in his forge, that's for certain. Only mithril engines get hotter, and you can't chuck ore in one of them and get metal out the other end. Trouble is, we won't be able to make it out of any old rubbish neither. We need the good stuff. And I hear you once helped Helena get her hands on exactly that. Any chance you could help me too?
Sure. I'd be happy to.
If it's for the good of the hideaway, I'd be happy to.
Oh, it is. I promise you.
So, what exactly is this good stuff you need me to find?
We've got a couple of examples here. Spherical echoes, we call them.
More fallen materials. So this smelter is similar to the mithril engine in more ways than one.
That's right. They're a bit like the thermal helms. Fallen ceramics deal with heat like nothing else, see? And what's more, they're directional, transferring heat from the inside to the outside. But these things, they're all outside. If we line the hood with them, they'll reflect the heat right back into the furnace. We've collected as many as we can, and I know where we can get the rest. Trouble is, they're all watched over by their bigger, uglier cousins.
So you want me to visit some ruins, destroy some echoes, and bring back the spheres they're guarding?
That's it in a nutshell, yeah. We're only 3 short, mind. And we know exactly where they are. There's one up Amber Way, in that ruin that they call Lost Plume, and another in the Silent South, over in Dalmekia. Last one is in the ruins of Advent, which is in the Empire.
All right then. Wish me luck.
Will do. I'll be keeping all my fingers and toes crossed.
You're getting more and more unhinged the more and more quests that we do for you, I swear to God. The fuck was that type of... Like, that wasn't excitement. You shut your mouths. Like, that wasn't excitement. That was just weird.
So, she don't need sails?
That's right. Midship is fucking fantastic. We'll get to you, Joshua, I promise. First, what else we got? Anything good? Oh no, nothing there.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of stews.
Oh, no, hold on. Hi, Oscar. They fucking clothes on me.
My Lord Marquis, I heard about Eastpool. That some of my fellow guardians are to build a new home there, both for themselves and for Madame Martha's bearers. Is it true?
It's true. The village is to be rebuilt.
I have many fond memories of Eastpool. When I was a child, we would visit my aunt and uncle often. They would lavish attention upon me as if I were the son they never had. I went to see Aunt Hannah after my uncle passed away, but not nearly as often as I should have.
Oscar, I'd like you to assist Sir Wade in the rebuilding efforts.
But my lord, my training is not yet complete. I couldn't possibly.
I warned you I might not be the easiest of masters, but I'm not as hard-hearted as that. Go. Be with your aunt. Rebuild her home. Is what she would have wanted.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Well, that was some missable dialogue there. Would have completely glanced over that if I wasn't paying attention. Jesus. Healer's Place. Thank you for helping me guide my mentor free from his mortal coil. Contrary to what the maddening crowd believes, we physicers are not without our limits. I cannot hope to cure every ill, mend every wound, save every life. The only medicine that will see you home safe without fail is prevention. Not that this knowledge will ever stop any of you from chasing down some behemoth for its toenails. Captain Doris. Sir, I and the other Curseburgers have grown concerned regarding the well-being of our captain. Despite the apparent unrest her recent investigations have visited upon her, Lady Doris refuses all offers of assistance. And if it is not too much trouble, I would ask that you please speak with the captain and learn what troubles her so deeply.
There's no way of knowing if Doris will confide in me, but I can speak to her at least.
Alright.
The stew's awful.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of papio nuts and all.
So what do I owe the honor? Yeah,
Let the thing float, did it?
the weight of all that shit.
It had me knocked out. I thought it'd sink straight to the bottom. Always the way with misinventions, though, isn't it? You ain't got a clue what the hell you're looking at when she hands you the designs, but they always seem to work.
Clever girl, that one.
Alright, boiled on the arse sometimes, but it's clever all the same.
What do you want?
Got something new. Ice brand! Yet deep was the frost's bite, leaving her fell mark upon their skins.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. My goodness.
Anything else?
What? Why are you still fucking glowing at me? There more appearance? Oh. Ashen gray, huh? I don't know, I kinda like his original appearance better, being honest. But since everybody else is switched over, I suppose Joshua can have his time in his new outfit too. Alright, Doris. What's going on? Oh, Yote.
Covered in nicks.
You're not gonna talk? Alright.
Where are you?
Can I help you, Sid?
I'm looking for Doris. Is she here?
I'm afraid not. She's at Martha's Rest on a job. My job, actually. When she heard what the mission was, she insisted on going herself. Alone.
Did she? What was the mission?
Following up on some new information. Once they'd settled in, the bearers you helped liberate in the Dragon's Eyrie were keen to talk about their imprisonment. And about their captor.
The slaver Cole's team were tracking when they were attacked by the Beastmen. I'll go and find her. She's at Martha's Rest, you say?
If she's not moved on already, yes. I hope everything's all right.
Why would Doris insist on going alone? Maybe Cole was right to be worried.
Clive.
You got even more problems for me?
Look.
Oh, yeah. Holy crap. Alright.
Seen enough?
Looks like it's gonna be Sidequest City today. Let's just do shit in order. Washed. Tabor. Washed.
So Dravost is still standing. For now, at least.
You can swing a hammer.
Excuse me. Dravost.
Clive! You're
That's
here!
me.
And the Akashic?
Mostly off to the north still. But I spoke to Doris's scouts and it turns out things are worse than I thought. There's swarms of them out there. Told old Snotty to be ready to seal the north gate. That should buy us some time if we need it. Enough for the villagers to barricade themselves inside their homes at least.
Well done.
Welcome back.
Well done.
I'd never have guessed, you know. Not if August hadn't let slip. Who'd have thought that the savior of Dravost would turn out to be the realm's most infamous outlaw? Keen to help us out again?
I am.
Thought you could sneak off without me, did you?
Told you would know.
Blackthorn.
Oh, what are you doing here?
One of the scouts couldn't keep his voice down. Unlike my best mate who didn't think I deserved to know. Zoltan, how long's it been? Long enough for us two to turn into a pair of old codgers, I see.
That your idea of an apology? Prick.
Don't listen to him. You only did what you thought was best. For the village and that.
I did, yeah. But that ain't the whole of it. Vulcan, our master, didn't leave the chiefdom to the two of us. He left it to me. The best blacksmith in Dravost, barring himself, of course. Bloody stupid tradition, in my opinion. If someone's got talent, you should let them practice their craft, not ask them to settle petty feuds and barter for grain. Our master wasted half his life that way. I wasn't about to let that happen to me.
So you wasted half of mine instead.
You're what Dravost needed. Under me and my precious ideals, this place wouldn't have lasted a year. So I left to devote myself to the work and spare you lot the consequences. I may be a selfish prick, but I only did what I felt I had to.
What you had to do was your duty!
Even if it meant we all starved?
Enough. This is no time for bickering. You can finish beating each other up once Dravost is safe.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway.
Yeah, so have I.
Sorry, Clive. I shouldn't have stuck my nose in. We're short enough on time as it is. Still, give us a mo, would you? I need to get my head straight before any of them Akashic try to bite it off.
Alright. Yeah, they're making up. It's going to take a bit.
Prick or not, I won't abandon Dravost to a swarm of Akashic.
Just say the word. The villagers know to keep out of sight when the fighting starts.
Alright.
You, ready for the off then?
Ready as I'll ever be.
We can't afford to waste any more time.
Right you are. Might be worth having one last word with the scouts, though. Don't want any nasty surprises, do we? Oh, and Blackthorn, you and Zoltan might be better off staying inside the...
Akashic on the move.
How close are they?
Within sight of the walls. And there are more coming up from the mines.
What was I saying about nasty surprises?
They'll wash right over us if we stay out in the open. We're pulling back behind the gates.
Good idea. Get yourselves inside, but keep your weapons handy.
Understood.
I'm prepared to fight if I have to.
Well, let's hope you don't. That's our job. Once the scouts are inside, order your men to barricade the gates. No heroic last stands, you hear me? No fighting at all if you can help it.
August's right. I've seen what Akashic beasts can do to armor. The people here are tough and willing, but they ain't equipped to face what's coming.
I'm going out there. Start work on the gate as soon as I've left. I'll give you as much time as I can.
And if they kill you?
They won't.
Evacuate. But it won't come to that. I promise.
You'd better be right.
Take good care of Dravost till I get back.
Leave it to me. And give those things what for, yeah?
Here we go. All right.
All right. Which one of you's first?
What the hell? Oh, that's right. I'm never alone. Got Torgal too. Good boy. Let's remember the controls now. Once again, this is a clear indicator of playing too many games with too many control schemes recently. Everybody up in the air, please. Oh, looks like you were spared the tornado there. Luckily you. Griffin? Oh shit. Pulling out the fucking big gun on this one. Fucking ow. You shouldn't have done that.
Is that it? Apparently not.
Is that a fucking chimera? There it is. Oh, fucking fake out. Ain't having it in my shit, are you, come here? Alright. Down you go. The ram's voice. Oh, right, because it's a lion, a snake, and a ram? I think, is what usually makes up a chimera. Bitch. Dragon's voice. Never mind. Never mind, I know nothing. Oh, that doesn't count as a fucking counter? An eye for an eye, my friend. You do a nice ground-based AoE attack, I do a nice ground-based AoE attack. That's how it works. So it's nice to see that there's more surprises. There's always more surprises.
Now, the question is, did I miss any?
Man alive! You still in one piece!
I slew as many as I could.
As many as I could, he says. The old bleeding lot, more like it. Well, almost.
Only almost.
Yeah, one or two did try to sneak over the wall. But we got the bastards, don't you worry.
Good. Though you do know, more will come in time.
In time, yeah. But we can think about them later. Let's get you back inside.
Sid, you're even more fearsome than your reputation. Enough to give those Akashic monsters nightmares. I almost felt sorry for the wretched things. But mostly, I felt grateful. Dravojst won't forget what you did today.
I'm afraid I've only delayed the inevitable. There's no getting rid of that ether flood. Meaning that any living thing which stumbles into those mines will end up clawing at your walls again.
And that's if the flood don't spread. If it does, well, I hate to say it, but the village's days are numbered.
That may be, but we're staying just the same. With ether floods springing up all over, it's no less safe than anywhere, and more importantly, it's our home. We'll fortify the gates to the north, and I'll see that they're guarded day and night.
All right. Then we'll give you a hand shoring up those defenses.
As for you, Blackthorn, that's twice you've turned up when Dravoj needed you. So, thanks.
I shouldn't have stayed away so long. And I shouldn't have left without talking it over with you first.
Too bloody right you shouldn't. Though I doubt I'd have listened. I always envied you. How you made everything look so easy when, for me, it was anything but. You leaving gave me the perfect excuse to hate you. And from that day on, I never once stopped to wonder what it would have been like if you'd stayed. But what you said earlier, it was true. You'd have been the death of this place.
Finally, something we can agree on.
Hey there, Mel.
You see the sense of it eventually. You kept this place alive.
Alive, perhaps. Wealthy even, but Dravoj isn't what it once was. Our work used to be the pride of Dalmekia. Now, we churn out the same rubbish day after day because it's easy and turns a profit. It's not about the craft anymore. I wouldn't send my sons to war wearing the shit most of our smiths are making. I've kept working, honing my skills, trying to lead by example, but no one sees the point. The average castle apprentice has as much passion for the craft as our current lot. Come back to us, Blackthorn. behind Dravost what a true master blacksmith looks like.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
And even
Why do you think I'm even playing this?
Means we can work at the same forge again.
Kind offer. Kind
After
of
work.
I deserve.
At 11:30 at night.
I could accept, but I'm needed elsewhere. There's people who trust
This is a
their
good
lives
game.
to my steel,
And I very much appreciate the story and the character development.
Fair enough.
But that doesn't mean I couldn't visit from time to time. Let's see if we can't rekindle this town's passion for the craft, shall we?
I like that.
Just be sure to tell Snotty to let me in the next time I come calling, yeah?
Knowing him, he'd let you in anyway. Blackthorn. The Master Smith turned outlaw. Back in my good graces. I never thought I'd see the day.
I'd say that went pretty well, wouldn't you?
Even better than I'd hoped.
Sid, I've got something for you.
Oh. The cracked anvil. Oh, another seal.
And this is?
A token of our lasting gratitude. But I'm of a mind to make you a far grander gift.
Oh?
Designs for a certain sword have been passed down from chief to chief for generations.
Oh?
Hold on, Zoltan. There's a reason no one's made that blade in centuries. There's not been a craftsman equal to the task. I'll admit your cinders make impressive steel, and I've learned to hone an edge Odin will be proud of.
Too soon, buddy.
Are enough to make a jeweler cry.
Shh. I know. We're having nice ha-ha time here, but shush, I'm trying to talk. The Rebirth trailer. It is very enticing. And it definitely makes me glad that I played Zach's game, Crisis Core. I'm just trying to figure out if I need to go through the first soldier as well, because I don't know. Just something tells me that's part of it, or if I need to play Dirge of Cerberus. No, I don't need to play Dirge of Cerberus. That's afterwards. But I feel like I'm just kind of missing a piece of the puzzle there. Also, let's get this out of the way. The whole thing with Cloud on a fucking Segway is hilarious, and I love the memes that have come from it. But, yeah, February's gonna be a good time.
Not just for show, Levi.
Have you forgotten what brought you back to Dravost in the first place?
Yo, have you seen the fucking...
I knew I'd never surpass you with the hammer and tongs.
Have you seen the one with Sephiroth on the fucking Masamune, like giant Segway?
Any master craftsman ever to have graced a forge.
You know what? I think you might be right. Clive, you wouldn't mind if Zoltan came back to the hideaway, would you?
He's more than welcome. As long as he can keep our secret.
Right. Zoltan, get your tools. We've got a legend to forge.
Is it going to be a legend? Is it? I suppose we'll see.
With a little help from Blackthorn, I don't see why we can't restore Dravost to its former glory. Barring ether floods, that is.
I'll tell you what, Clive. If we pull this off, it will ruin every other sword you've ever held.
Is that right? Because I've seen some pretty impressive looking swords across the game here.
Don't you worry about that.
First soldier is a yes and no. Certain elements are canon. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. Namoran... Between Final Fantasy VII and the Kingdom Hearts stuff, it's like I'm fucking spreading myself so thin trying to get all the lore together. Ugh. Well, luckily with Ever Crisis, it's not going to be too far out of reach. Hello?
The bearer of the burning quill is within, my lord. Prithee enter.
Lord Rosfield,
Cyril?
is there aught the Undying might assist you with this day?
Perhaps. My brother said that your order was helping him with his quest to uncover Ultima's origins. Have you learned anything of note since last we spoke?
Little unless, I regret to report.
I see.
Be assured, however, that we will not rest until the truth is known. Even now, our archaeologians...
True. And that's why I paused. Because my mouth is so used to saying "God damn it, Namora," thanks to some of the later works there. But even so, it's just the same general idea. There's just so much lore, and I want to be able to understand it and appreciate the references. But I'm stretching myself so thin as it is.
Scour ruins in every corner of the realm for traces of Ultima's touch.
Fallen ruins, I take it. Dating back as far as Phoenix Gate.
Indeed. Ultima's thralls are oft sighted among the remnants of the fallen civilization, as if protecting the secrets concealed within.
Secrets we'd see unearthed.
Should our methods be of interest, my lord, mayhap it would please you to observe some of our number at work.
Would that be possible?
Yes. Will lead towards the forgotten capital. You're saying like that's where in the story it's supposed to end. Mind you, I haven't gotten to that part in OG7 yet, so there's a whole thing going on. Okay. I do need to get back to OG7 at some point, but this is taking up my time, so it's gonna be a lot in 2 discs. Well, for those who are getting the physical copy, I am getting the digital.
A survey is being conducted not far from here. Perchance you are familiar with Kretov, a small hamlet built around a fallen airship. I was due to visit my colleagues there to collect their preliminary findings, but if you would consent to do so in my stead, I'm sure that they would be honored to relate any discoveries they have made to you directly.
Listen, my biggest excitement is the fact that there's going to be fucking team attacks in terms of combat. We're getting 2 story DLCs?
Alright. I'll go and meet with them.
I've been trying to keep in the dark. I mean, like, it's fine for us to talk about, but I'm trying to keep myself in the dark just to make sure I don't trip into spoiler territory there.
Straight to the village after but a short walk.
Thank you. I will.
I wish you a safe journey, my lord. May the Firebird's flames burn ever in your heart.
I already have enough heartburn. I appreciate it, though.
A village built around an airship. Sounds like another Lost Wing.
Doesn't it?
I hope the inhabitants are just as friendly.
Well, hopefully they're not just as dead. Oh, just that there will be 2 DLCs. Go, Ambrosia. As soon as I figure out which direction to go. Go! You are of no consequence to me, birds. Shut up. You mean nothing. I don't think I've fought you yet.
Safe.
Getting in some cheap shots because for some reason the camera doesn't want to fucking cooperate. Also be on PC. It's also coming out on PS4 either in a few months or sometime next year, I think. At least that's what was implied in the trailers. The camera! Oh, you motherfucker! Did you just regain all your health? Jesus Christ. That would not have been as hard if the camera had actually fucking cooperated.
This might take a while.
What makes you say that? These fallen bugs are nothing. Yeah, but I mean, I'm excited to see. I mean, I guess I can't really judge anything until I actually finish the game, but... And with me doing all of the side quests. Not the challenges. Mind you, not the challenges, but the side quests. It'll take a while still. But it'll be worth it, because it expands the world. Also, you, my friend, were talking about a New Game Plus. Does that actually add anything, or is it just a standard New Game Plus where you get to keep all your shit? Another waypoint. Which means that this place is going to be even more important beyond this one quest.
Oh no. You'll pay for this.
Well, that is just rude.
There may still be survivors.
That. Now that nobody's here to cast any magic on you, you fucking cheaters. Fool's gold. Well, isn't that just fucking telling? What the fuck? Okay. Alright. Okay.
Too slow. Nice try.
What the fuck? Alright. Oh, really? Well, must be losing my touch there. Usually I would be able to figure out the pattern a lot easier than that.
Should have stayed in the past. These must be Cyril's colleagues.
You have our thanks, stranger.
Who are you?
Ah, forgive me, my lord. I did not recognize you. You are Lord Rosfield, are you not? We are archaeologians, tasked with surveying this site. When the echoes appeared, our brothers here occupied their attentions. Thanks to them, and to you, we were, for a mercy, able to see our duty to its conclusion.
You call that a mercy? Your brothers might still be alive if you put their safety before your duty. Surely this survey wasn't worth dying for.
We are charged with uncovering Ultima's origins. A duty of the highest import, as I'm sure you will agree.
And you think your dead brothers would agree with you too?
I know they would. They gave their lives for the cause, an honor to which all Undying aspire. Now, to what do we owe the honor of your presence, Lord Marquis?
Cyril told me of your work here, and I agreed to collect your findings in his stead.
I see. That is most kind. Pray, take them then, with our humble thanks. May the Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart, as it does in ours.
As once again,
To lay down your life for another. But for a survey, I suppose I'd better get this back to Cyril.
Clive just doesn't get it. Understandably. Why am I glowing? What's it? Oh, is that the regen? Is that from you, Torgal? Oh, good boy.
Think no more of us, my lord. Only deliver our findings to the bearer of the burning quill.
It is really weird, depending on who you are, to see this same theming over and over again of people that are just like, I will die for this task that I was charged. Like, it does not matter what because of me, as long as the task gets done.
The greater number of our order live among the masses, hidden in plain sight. Even here in Tabor, our brothers and sisters pose as common folk. If any should reveal themselves to you, I beg you keep their true identity secret.
Ah, you are returned, my lord.
I collected your colleagues' preliminary findings. Here, take them.
Kratov reports. Scroll containing the preliminary findings of the Undying's ill-starred venture into the ruins of Kretov. Sealed wax imprint of the phoenix feather.
My thanks. I shall study them, and inform you forthwith if I discover aught that might aid you in your fight against Ultima.
Cyril, your survey party suffered several losses in Kretov. Losses which could have been avoided, had the others not chosen to complete their work, instead of saving their friends. Were these your orders?
No. This was their choice. Every Undying devotes his life to the service of the Phoenix. It is our sole duty, and should we die in discharging it, so be it.
Even when death is avoidable.
My lord, I fear that this is not a point over which it would be fruitful to argue. The Undying have served the Phoenix for countless generations, and your opinion of our methods, however earnest, is not like to change them. We live to serve the Phoenix. Our very order exists for that purpose, and that purpose alone.
Cyril, I know that you and your brethren answer only to Joshua, but allow me to offer you a word of advice. It does not further the cause of the Phoenix to have his loyal followers surrender their lives without good reason. Provide your survey parties with an escort, that they might live to do their duty for years to come. Think not only of how you can serve the Phoenix, but how Joshua would want you to serve him. Please. For all our sakes.
I thank you for your advice, my lord. If you will permit me to respond, our faith in his grace, Joshua Rossfield, is absolute. And we of the Undying will do what we believe is right to fulfill our duty unto him. As first shield to the Phoenix, I am sure you understand what it means to do one's duty.
I do.
Well.
Then we are of the same mind. And it is my hope that we may continue to do our duty together.
Alright. Not exactly a happy ending by any means, but again, it's just weird. We got two princes, or two members of the royal family. One of which lived his life fully separated from that whole life for about 15 years. And then one who, for better or for worse, still kind of served his duty as the Phoenix. And the way that their two separate lives, even though they're close as brothers, their methods differ, is very interesting. As long as it doesn't lead to conflict of that, a civil discussion of differing opinions is best. And this comes from somebody who wholly believes that.
Take that, you naughty thief! And that! Stop it, Renz!
Clive! To what do I owe the pleasure? I just wanted to see how the town's been faring since you brought everyone together. Since we brought everyone together, all is absolutely wonderful. Conrad and Natalie's hands remain safely away from each other's throats and firmly at the helm. Our stores are full, and the bandits still too disorganized to raid them. Just as the good Lady Jane and Lord Underhill intended.
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalimil, because of how he stopped all the grown-ups from fighting.
It's the mayor of Dalimil, dear child, and the vote hasn't taken place just yet. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to build a school so that menaces like you two learn not to interrupt your elders. Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the horizon. May there indeed. I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united front might have caught the bandits' attention. And they might have elected to take a similar approach. They have formed what one could call a League of Outlaws, and they grow more organized by the day.
But we'll fight them all off just like last time, no matter how many of them there are. Won't we, Lubor?
Of course we will. If we continue to work together, we can overcome any challenge we choose to face. The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be, until the only way to overcome it might be to run for the hills. Our best hope is to nip these efforts at organization in the bud, by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause, and ensuring that they never do. Perhaps a certain Lord Underhill might be willing to lend us his aid once more?
I cannot believe we are still playing with this persona here. Alright, how could I refuse?
How could I refuse? Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill you in on the particulars. I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scouts. Such an amenable soul. He reminds me of you. I'll go and speak with him.
How interesting. Again, first impressions for me are very important.
A League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition.
Like naught you've seen before.
I've said this before, how much I believe in first impressions. But Lubor seems to have grown a little bit. His immaturity has very much lessened over the time here. Kretov. Under the lee of a fallen giant lies the crumbling ruins of a humble village once home to goat herds and bean farmers. Also, Victor, you're still here?
Still in Dalimil, Victor.
Ah, Sid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnes by now.
I did. Then I came back. I've developed something of a fondness for the place. And having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, it would seem remiss to abandon it to another. A sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't shy about exploiting. Hence my doing his bidding yet again.
You're not the only one.
What does he want you to do?
He asked for my aid in putting down the bandits. And he said that you might be able to help me find them.
Then you've come at just the right time. I was on my way to speak with Conrad about how to organize our forces. There are more camps in the vicinity than we can safely strike at once. But we must strike together, and we must strike soon at as many camps as we can. We can't give this league of theirs time to rally its forces.
All right. Which camp shall I take?
There's one upriver. Just out there, across the dunes.
Leave it with me.
Yeah, you guys can organize yourselves and, you know, go at them with your fucking... your forces, your organized forces, and I'm just gonna be a fucking one-man army here. One-man army, not manned. You mean nothing to me. Go away. How far are you going to... Thank you. How fucking far are you gonna follow me? Meh. Meh.
That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle.
Time for some fun.
That's him. The one who killed Locke and Fingers.
Lock and Fingers. I dare not hope that's a fucking reference to FF6. I can imagine that Locke is just kind of a very common name, but... Who's yay. Who's casting over here? Who else is casting? Well then. That was a little bit detailed of a death noise there.
I better let Victor know.
Sid, where are you?
Just about to come find you.
Ah, I see the bandits didn't pose you any trouble.
No, but that's not why you're here, is it?
No. Something's happened. We need you back in Dalimil.
What is it?
The whole town's in uproar. They're saying that Lubor is a bearer.
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits escape, and his escape route took him right through Dalimil. Some of the children spotted him, and he was about to silence them. And when Lubor felled him with a bolt of magic, and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been hiding it all these years, which is what people are saying. If he has, well, I wouldn't blame him. No man is branded by choice. Still, all those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life. One who has made a leader of himself when the world believed he should have been a slave.
Fuck.
I don't know where we go from here, but I know one thing. Lubor needs all the friends he can get right now.
You're right.
Well, that turned on its head fast.
And now everyone knows. I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an occasion. And when that occasion arose, I forgot to reach for it.
Well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
We're sorry, Lubor. We tried to keep running, but we just couldn't anymore.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed playing the hero for once. All that matters to me is that you two are safe.
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing. All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us all these years.
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change them. We need to do something, and quickly. Convince the people not to let their prejudices blind them. Convince them that nothing has changed. That their enemy lies outside these walls, not within them.
You're right. We should speak to everyone.
I'm glad you agree. I'll handle the townsfolk. I'm a Dalmec born and bred. They listen to me. You head to the tavern. Make Conrad and Natalie remember who Lubor really is. They know that Lubor and I are friends. I might not make for the most impartial of interlocutors. Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however, is a trusted and impartial mediator of note.
I'll do what I can.
Oh, that.
Stay here with the children. I can't promise anything, but we'll try. And that is all I can ask of you.
After all this time. To be fair, it wouldn't have been very convincing anyway, considering that crystals under...
Why are you taking the bearer's side, Victor? Are you one too?
Shh.
You know I'm not. Just listen.
That crystals under Primogenesis don't work anymore, so that wouldn't have worked. That act wouldn't have worked now anyway.
We knew all along that he was playing us for fools.
And we fell for it. We followed him. A bearer.
Forgive me for disturbing you, but could I have a moment of your time?
I've seen your face before.
As have I. Lord Underhill, wasn't it? Of the League of Merchants.
That's right. I wanted to speak to you about Lubor.
The rumors that he's a bearer. All true, I'm afraid.
He'll never be mayor now. Not if I have anything to do with it.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued throughout the Republic. In this at least he's done the town a service. Might that not earn him a little leniency?
Leniency? He pretended to be one of us when he was laughing behind our backs all the while.
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to us. He lied to you. He cannot be trusted.
So what do you propose? Will you drive him from his home? Close his forge?
Perhaps. That is a question for the people of Dalimil. And they will thank you not to get involved.
The townsfolk have made their minds up. There was nothing I could do.
Nor I. Conrad and Natalie refused to consider anything but their own wounded pride.
You never know. Once their anger is cooled, they might see things differently. For now, we should report back to Lubor.
All right.
Why do they always have to make such a fuss outside? It's driving away our customers.
Not exactly the way that we were hoping things go. Prejudice against bearers is still as strong as ever.
I assume the situation is hopeless? There's still hope. But...
Also, when Comrade was just like, he's never going to be mayor now, not if I have anything to say about it, gives me such fucking Hamilton vibes, like the goddamn musical freak that I am. He's never gonna be president, now gonna be president now. Same energy.
Perhaps not in this lifetime, I think it's fair to say.
You mustn't think like that, Lubor. Give them time. They'll come around. We'll talk some sense into them in the end, you'll see.
No, you won't. And your efforts would be better spent elsewhere.
But Lubor...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie, that a blade is a reflection of the smith who forged it. To yourself be true, that was her point. Rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with a blade of her own making. But I do not doubt that she was always true to herself and what she believed in, right to the end. And so must I be. I must do what I know to be right, no matter what others might think of me. And now, I know what that is. I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people of Dalimil have something to unite against. For only united can they hope to stand against the threat that awaits them. I'll need to make a suitably dramatic exit, of course.
Don't go, Lubor. You're the only one who was ever kind to us. We'll be all alone. Again.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go. Not only for the town, but for you, too.
How could it possibly be for the best? These children need you. The least you can do is give the townspeople a chance to change their minds.
They would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this town and these children to the wolves? I thought you were better than this. But it seems you had me fooled as well.
Victor.
Forget it. Do what you will.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor?
Of those available to me, I believe it's the best one. Yes. Ah, but where are my manners? Here. Your reward for clearing out that bandit camp. Right then. I have packing to do.
If there's anything I can do. Anything.
I'll bear it in mind. Thank you.
To be continued. Again, not the turn that I thought this was going to take. This clearly can't be the end of it.
Why is everyone being mean to Lubor? He didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to go with him.
If you're going to try and convince me to stay, save your breath. I will not put those children at risk.
How is that for thanks? Can't tell if that's the top or the bottom of the Crozier Echoes there. I suppose only one way to find out. Oh, it's the top.
Thanks, Gal. I'll need to deal with these ones first. this spherical echo.
Found it.
This is it. Right then. Just two more to find.
I think that is it in terms of Dalmeki. Nope, never mind. Never mind, we got some stuff to go in Bucklad.
What are you looking for? Many thanks. You've a discerning eye.
Yes, it appears I
Sure you
do.
don't need it?
I'm sure, thank you very much. You don't need to pull that little trick on me. I know exactly what I'm doing. Of course, I can't say anything, considering
Thank you.
the person that was buying popcorn from at the Ren Fair convinced me to buy 2. And when I say convinced me, I said, I want 1. He's like, you're gonna have 2. And I said, okay, I guess I'll have 2. Anyway, I will be right back. We'll do some more of this side stuff. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get to some more story stuff tonight. But I shall return shortly. We'll get some more Final Fantasy 16 coming soon. Okay. Hello. I'm back. Certainly not going to get into the story if I keep doing shit like that. That might be a little too on the nose. My body hates me, and we'll just leave it at that. Oh, God. And there goes my knife. My fucking... Basically my fidget knife. Alright. What's up, Theodore?
Clive. You'll be pleased to know that the negotiations are progressing well.
That is good news.
Yes. Our comrade in Randala has just sent word that the contract should be signed very soon. But I still have much and more to prepare. It's a huge undertaking moving this many bearers at once. You couldn't do me a quick favor, could you?
I could.
What is it this time? More wild beasts?
Nothing like that. I just need you to go over to the caravans and ask El how long we have until the bearers arrive.
That's it?
Find out exactly how much faster I need to get all these supplies moved.
All right. I'll go and ask.
Thanks, Clive. I owe you one.
Methinks this is not... That's too easy. Just walk on over, ask how things are. Come on over. Oh, okay. What's going on here?
Don't blame yourself, El. This is their fault, not yours. I know, but... No buts about it, all right?
Is something wrong?
Vinny came to give me a message from our intermediary. The talks with the Republican army have fallen through. They've reached an agreement with the Silver Peak Consortium instead. Though prices have fallen of late, we deliberately offered above the going rate to try and deter other bidders. But the Consortium offered double what we did, and the army jumped at the chance.
And you had no opportunity to make a counteroffer?
None at all. And we were so close.
El? What's happened? I saw Vinny leaving. She didn't look happy.
And with good reason.
But I thought we were the only ones the Fist were speaking to about the bearers. How did the Consortium even find out about this?
It's not so surprising. They have ears all over the Republic. This isn't over. The Consortium will have to sell these bearers eventually, and at the price they paid, buyers will be few and far between. I'm going to Randalar myself.
Alone? You sure that's wise?
Are you offering to be my bodyguard? How kind. Meet me at the checkpoint near the capital gates. I'll send an owl ahead and request a meeting. You go to Cashlock, Theo, and get everything ready. We've waited far too long as it is. Even if I fail to free these bearers, there will be others. Someone needs to prepare the place and keep any prowling beasts at bay.
Oh, and that's me, is it? Well, it looks like I'm following orders till she gets back from meeting the Silver Peak Consortium, who've been doing their best to undermine our scheme. She'll never join them after this, surely. No, she said it herself. She still has plans for Cashlock, even if this one falls through. She means to stay with us, then. I can't say I'm not happy to hear it, but... Is this what she really wants?
You have to trust her.
You're right. It's what she wants now. And if Elle's off fighting for the cause, I should do my part too. So I bid you farewell and safe travels, my friend. I'll gather my men and leave for Cashlock. We'll make sure the place is well stocked and defended. You go to Randalar and see if you can stop my sister biting the Consortium's heads off. If she won't consider her prospects, someone has to.
I'll do my best. All right. To Randalar, then. And better not keep Eloise waiting. Well, this isn't at all foreboding.
I wouldn't give for a hot meal.
Looks like this is the end of this.
When are they gonna let us through?
How long have I been muted? I do not know. I hate when I do that.
Straight home now.
Are y'all still following me?
Stay down. It's over. Farewell. It's over.
Swear to God. The lengths that these enemies go to follow you is ridiculous.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Did you arrange to speak with the consortium?
Here they are now.
You wish to consult with me?
I did. It's about the bearers you recently purchased from the Fist. We had all but finished making arrangements to buy them ourselves, and then you stepped into the fray.
You misunderstand. The consortium had an interest in purchasing them from the very first. It was only our regard for you that kept us from bidding. But your hesitancy in accepting our offer to you suggested that the regard was not mutual. And so we resumed our business.
I did not hesitate. I am simply not inclined to make such decisions without first giving them due consideration. But what is done is done. Come then. How much do you want for them?
Alas, you are too late yet again. We rarely take on such unconventional merchandise without a purchaser in mind. The bearers belong to him now.
Who is your buyer?
A trader from across the water. A most demanding fellow, if it's any consolation. He insisted the bearers be fed, dressed, even given their own bunks for the voyage over. That's what you get when you deal with continental types.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yes, the culture on the continent is quite different to ours. They pay good money for bearers not fit for the knacker's yard, and treat them like kings. But as long as they pay...
That does sound unusual. No matter then. If they've already left our shores, there's little that can be done. Allow me to withdraw my interest. And with it, my interest in joining your organization.
My associates will be sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry you weren't able to save them.
As am I. But I only have myself to blame. He was right, you see. The Silver Peak Consortium did intend to buy those bearers before I did. Their representative hinted at a possible purchase when he came to recruit me. I feigned interest in joining them in the hope he might be encouraged to tell me more. And he did just that. As soon as he left, I sent my own offer to Randalar.
So you never...
No. I entertained the Consortium's proposal solely so I could learn more about those bearers. But I was a fool to think they wouldn't find out. I knew exactly who I was dealing with.
You tried.
I did. And if what he said was true, the bearers are to be well treated. Which is something, at least. But they deserved more. I wanted so badly to see them freed.
Eloise! Eloise! Word from Cashlock. The village is under attack. A pack of beasts have come down from the mountains, and there's a dragon at its head. Theo and the others are trying to hold them off as best they can, but the odds are against them. They need help, and fast.
Theo.
I'll go on ahead.
Thank you, Clive. I'll gather some men and join you there. Just make sure he's safe.
There it is. Well, it's a good thing, frankly, that she decided, or that she didn't decide to go on with it. Go on with it.
Fly, Ambrosia.
And now we know the truth. She never intended to go. 'Twas all a ploy. Oh. Well, ain't that interesting?
Back to the stables, girl.
Back to the stables? I don't think so. You're trying to get me down here, assholes.
Where's Theodore?
Upriver!
He led the dragon that way to keep it from the village, but the whole area's flooded with ether.
We just have to pray he makes it out in one piece.
I can do better than that. Torgal, with me.
Boy, Theo, don't you dare fucking die. Or become a Kashik. I can see that being the fucking case. He never figures out how his sister felt.
Where are you, Theo?
It's over.
A lot of beasts. I don't see any people though.
Damn it. The ether's too thick. These creatures have already turned. I can't waste any more time. I need to find Theodore before that dragon does.
Or the dragon finds us.
Looks like it's found me.
Yep.
This thing's turned as well. This isn't going to be easy.
Here we go again. Another dragon fight. Dive. Yep. Just like the other one. Just more appropriately leveled. Down to about halfway. There's a dance. Yep, there's the cross and the dive. These movements are very familiar. As much of it as it was of a pain in the ass to try to fight that fucking... Oh boy. Level 50 dragon for the what's the word for it? Fucking bounties has very much prepared me for this. And this one I have a little bit more of a chance for. Dragon Dance sets out. Or we got the cross. And the dive. Misjudged the fucking... distance on that one. That was a cool shot. That was a cool shot. Goodbye, dragon.
Clive? Theodore, you had me worried for... We have to get you out of here.
I think it might be a little too late for that. Bearer or no, there's only so much ether a man can take, and that Drake just wouldn't let me leave. You have my thanks, Sid, for finishing what I could not. For keeping Elle's dream. Theodore!
And so will you!
Elle.
Theodore.
Take care of my sister.
Theodore, wait.
Goodbye, Elle.
Thank you, Clive. I think I'll be all right now.
That was true bravery he showed. Leading the dragon away from the village like that. His first instinct was always to protect people. To put others' well-being before his own.
And now he's gone. Because I sent him to that place, against his will.
It wasn't against his will. He was ready to do whatever it took to show you he could stand on his own. So that you would finally be free to live your own life.
To live my own life? He never could come to terms with the choice I made.
What exactly happened? You once told me Theo was the first bearer you ever helped.
We grew up in Canva. We were born to one of the great trading houses. And I was chosen to inherit the family business. I had my father's head for figures, you see. Theo did not. While I studied the art of commerce, he played at soldiers instead. A late bloomer, in more ways than one. For unlike most bearers, it wasn't until his 15th summer that his powers awakened. My parents tried to drive him out of the house and into the care of the constables. But before they could, I took him into mine.
Theo told me something else. He clearly admired your devotion to the cause of freeing others like him from slavery. But he said you deserved a better life than this. He wanted to free you from what he called your bonds, just as you freed him from his.
I would be lying if I said I had not wondered from time to time how much easier my life might have been if I had allowed Theo to be taken and devoted myself to the family business instead. But I have never regretted the decision I made.
Being with my brother meant more to me than tradition or reputation. I only had to look at him to remind myself of that night, and the choice I made, and the fact that I would make the same choice again in a heartbeat. He was never a burden. How could he even think that? If anything, I was the one who weighed him down.
You weren't, Eloise. He said it himself, that he had always been grateful to you for saving him, and that he wanted to repay you by letting you live the life you were denied. Neither you nor Theo weighed each other down. You loved one another. You did whatever was necessary to continue living your lives together, and you always would have.
You're right. All I ever wanted, all I ever did, it was so we could be together. Oh, Theo, why did you have to...
I know Theo wanted me to move on, but I'm staying here at the Crimson Caravans to continue our work. We can make a difference here. We can help people, save them. I need nothing more from life than that. So I'll carry on doing what we do, ensuring that goods, people, bearers get where they need to be, bringing smiles to people's faces just like we always have, and to Theo's. Wherever he is. This is the life I have chosen. The life I will always choose.
I've made a choice of my own, to continue helping you however I can. Whenever you need it.
Thank you, Clive. Let's go on together then. For Theodore.
I fucking called it, though. Knew they were gonna pull this shit. Fuck, man. Crimson Caravan signboard. The emblem of the Crimson Caravans, porters of wide renown. They are based in Balklad, where traders from across Valisthea flock to browse the 1,000 tables and transport their wares either throughout the Dominion or on down the Crystal Road to the lands beyond. Yeah, no shit. And again, it brings back the whole point of, like, if I didn't take on this mission, Theo would still be alive. Sure, in its sort of stasis here, but, like, Theo would... Mwah.
The Crimson Caravans is my family business now, and I would not exchange it for the world. I brought Theo here to be safe, and I have never looked back since.
Fuck. Always pulling a fast one. Alright. On to Northreach. Things are bound to get dark. With Primogenesis in full swing here, things are bound to get dark. So, they do very well in terms of storytelling. Just sucks either way. Makes me kind of slightly hesitate to try and go on any more of these missions. Disrupting anybody else's lives here, but...
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne and taken up residence here in Northreach.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders, second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his empire. One built on the confiscated property of the people.
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly. But for whatever reason, he will not listen to me.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men in Sambrec. A man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve, and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke offers them a vision of strength and safety. No. Any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support of his men, if it did not cost him his life. But given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be unavoidable. The people have little appetite for further deprivation, least of all when it serves only to elevate others.
And who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke on my behalf? For your services to Northreach, you have the respect of the soldiers, and they will take you to His Eminence if you ask them. And unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from speaking your mind to the man. Well, will you try? You could hardly fare any worse than I did.
See what I can do.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right. Wish me luck.
So you're telling me the soldiers, whether they're under Philippe or not?
I may have met this Duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
We'll choose a new stronghold at the cost of whatever remains the city, and the people that they were sworn to protect, for the chance at a new empire.
As long as you remain.
Oh, yeah.
Halt. Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke. I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you and your heroics.
Oh, well, so much for not making a strong impression.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek, or favor?
Let's call it favor.
I thought only to inquire about your plan to turn Northreach into a stronghold.
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you needn't be. A proud fighting man like yourself shall always have a place here.
Well, that's good to know.
In fact, for too long has the contribution of the noble soldier been under-reckoned. But no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt, beginning right here in Northreach.
Mm-hmm.
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from the recent troubles. Her defenses are sound, and her garrison well prepared.
And she is right on the edge of a fucking aether flood.
For Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach to be the perfect place. With Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to the refortification of both the town and the castle, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the envy of the twins.
Ah, yes, Caer Norvent. Seems like a fucking lifetime ago that we were there battling Garuda. God.
Plans are already underway for the construction. Soon enough, these thralls shall learn that they are no match for the might of Sanbreque.
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly goods.
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sanbreque is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning government. One whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy is necessary. So that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed, outfitted, and paid as befits a defender of the Empire. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I seek to steal from the people and drive them from their homes.
I suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have discussed this.
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later.
I'm getting out of here.
The citizens revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
All right.
As long as you remain, the veil will see to your needs.
You're embarrassing yourself.
You have a way with words, my lady. Very accurate as they are.
Why?
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain Duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
I got peppers to numb your tongue up.
All right there. What is it you're after, sir?
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of the Duke of Oriflamme.
Oh, him. Not much. None of us traders do. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer to the holy capital, could they? And now he's trying to drive us out completely, threatening to take everything we got from us if we don't clear off. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
Gee, I wonder who the town has more respect for. Of course, they had respect for Lubor too before they found out he was a fucking bearer, so... public opinion can flip on its head at the flip of a switch.
I heard the Dame got an icon to rid the meadow.
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me started. You build a life for yourself somewhere, earning for some noble to turn up and tell you got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude awakening. We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
Yeah, it very much seems like the, They just need a starting gun. They just need that fucking shot. And then they'll be through.
Ghosts at the gates, not days ago.
They'll be through the fucking gates and tearing apart the nobles.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in the way he did. I mean, look around us. You can see the state the realm's in. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire's the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
Suppose that's one way of putting it.
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the Dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted, but it seems my words fell on deaf ears. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way round. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame, but I've got a family to look after. That's where my loyalties lie. Not with the town or the Empire, but with my wife and children. If the Duke can get us the men and the equipment we need to fight off those blue-skinned bastards, I don't care how he does it.
Okay, your description is cynical soldier, not monosyllabic soldier. Not monosyllabic. Not fucking monotone soldier there. God.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word is law. Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but empires don't come for free. Once Sandbreak is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this.
The citizens say no, the soldiers say yes, or at least their best approximation to yes. Which makes sense, because the soldiers that are benefit from all.
Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Certainly. Clive, wasn't it? Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders. But I can't say I agree with him.
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved. The Dame included.
That's right, I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. I know what I need to do now. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Doesn't matter how. Well, duty calls, so I better go. Thanks again.
Interesting.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
And yet, that is really all we could do. We really only have a limited amount of power here.
Ah, Clive. How did you fare? Were you able to speak with the Duke?
I was, but...
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. There's no denying that. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confiscated to pay for it. They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the state. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the greater good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destinies were in your hands. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders. And not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sambrak, I dare say I too would want nothing more than to see it rise from the ashes. Thank you for trying. But the battle is lost.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in, along with my resignation. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call it a day.
But why?
Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake of it, but protecting what I care about. Protecting Northreach. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together, all of us. And with you to lead us, milady, I reckon we can do it. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything you believe.
Indeed.
All of us, standing together. That has always been Northreach's best hope, and one which still lies within our grasp. We have only to turn our attentions to the true enemy. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I must do.
Anything for you, milady. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help keep watch around the town? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the guard.
Not at all. Be my guest.
Wouldn't be the first time.
There may be hope for Northreach yet. Especially with men like you and Philippe to champion our cause. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke, in the stubborn belief that I might still tempt him into joining hands. But I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then, Clive.
Until then.
Once again, to be continued. I really do appreciate the fact that, and I've said this multiple times, but like this game continues to show me more and more cases of it. I really do appreciate the fact that like all of these towns, all of our allies have their own stories going on. We have the big main story going on with Clive and Ultima and Ultima's fucking game and whatever the case is. But then we have all of our allies in all these different towns that have their own side stories going on, and we get to see how they progress. Now, not all of them are happy, mind you, but it is really good storytelling, and there's really good world building. That there's so much going on, and that you just kind of get to stand in the middle of all of it and just do your part and really see this world grow for what it is. Alright. Second, spherical echo.
Come on.
Like, for their first game of this caliber, because, I guess 15 was kind of a prototype of this type of formula, but like in my opinion, for their first game of this particular caliber, they are fucking nailing it. Of course, I suppose they had a lot of world building practice through 14, where they continue even now with their new fucking expansion of was it Dawn Trail, I think? Which I do need to get back into 14 at some point. Actually, I think my...
Don't get surrounded.
Sorry. I got distracted by the fucking battle here. I think my, I need to renew my subscription. Which, coming up for the holiday season, when I'm going to be kind of off the grid for a bit. At least that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Oh god, I'm dying. It would be good to keep my attention there. Goodness. Speaking of attention, there goes mine. Oh hey, a chest. Nice.
2 down.
1 to go.
Go.
Where to next? We could go here and knock the last one out. Of course, like all the way in there. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I guess this is going to be just strictly a side quest stream. Which is not bad. Again, these side quests are just as good as the main story because of the world building and such. So, I really have no particular reason to complain about it.
Damn it. The whole village is turned. That'll do, girl.
Oh, right, Amber. Now I remember. I think this was the... Was this the village where we met the one old man that's just like, oh my god, Lord Rosfield, you've returned. I was waiting for you for 30 some odd years. Please let me be a cook in your kitchen again. Is this that village, or is this the village where they're just like, fuck off, I don't want to deal with any conversation about the Black Shields? I don't remember which one this is. No, this is definitely the Black Shield village, because wasn't East Pool the one where that whole thing? Yeah, it was. Okay, I remember now. Well, if that's the case, then fucking good riddance. Oh my god, it's a Winx! Hey, thanks for the raid there, buddy. I never thought I would be on the receiving end of one. Hello, everybody. I'm sure if it's the same small community, you already recognize me there. But for those of you who do not, my name is BScat or Robert, depending on how you want to address me. I am a variety gaming streamer, mostly story-based games with a few non-story-based mixed there in between. Right now we are playing some more Final Fantasy 16. We're doing a bunch of side quests. Got a whole bunch that were dropped into my lap, so I'll take care of that before the next main story segment here. So sit back and relax. Prepare for some mediocre combat here, because I'm not very original in my moves here, but it's still entertaining enough. Side quests are very good. Again, the 16 side quests have been fantastic, because they have shown so much world building potential that it's almost as good as the main quest. It gives me that it fills that void for story there. And if any of you are interested, while September is still going on, we still get 25% off of all subs, and I think within the last week, so probably within the next few days, gift subs will also be under that 25% off there. So, of course, this is all if you're interested in it. I really only stream on Twitch whenever I can, especially with work. It hasn't necessarily been as consistent as I would like it to be, but that is neither here nor there. Is that another fool's gold? Oh no, that's just a Woken Guardian. Same difference though. Same moveset. Ow. Ow. Come on. There we go. So what are we doing there, Winx? Some more Ocarina of Time randomizer? I popped in the other night. Don't necessarily remember if I said hi or not. Once again, definitely the type to more lurk than actually participate. Oh, just the vanilla version? Nice. Thank you, Nightbot, right on time. For those of you who do not know, this is not my main hub here. My main hub is usually on YouTube. I just go on Twitch every so often just to try to get more attention there. So if you like this type of stuff, you'll see a lot more of it over on the channel there. All of these VODs also get exported to the channel as well, if you are interested in seeing the whole series so far. Are you doing Wind Waker rando on Friday? That sounds dangerous and fun, especially with the Great Sea portions there. You stop that. Once again, if you are here from the Winx raid, welcome.
That's all of them.
If you are also not here from the Winx raid, welcome as well. Looks like we got 2 quests going on here.
Doris should be somewhere nearby. Assuming she's still here.
Well, she's definitely in this general direction. If the indicator has anything to say about it.
Just because the heavens have gone to reckon room. Anything catch your eye?
I don't know. What else you got?
There you go.
Oh.
Very well.
Did not know that you sold those. I did not know those were just sold in shops. Alright. Thanks for popping in there, Winx. You enjoy that food.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
It's been a pleasure, Doris. Just like old times.
I'll give your offer some thought, my lady.
How goes the investigation?
Sid, what brings you to Martha's Rest?
You. I heard you were out here on your own, tracking our slaver. I trust you're being careful.
Of course. And it had to be me. The bearers from the Dragon's Eyrie confirmed a long-held suspicion of mine that the slaver we've been tracking is an old acquaintance. She's no fool. If we'd come in force, she would have spotted us straight away, and then vanished without a trace.
That was her just now, wasn't it? So, was it a fruitful reunion?
I'd say so. She tried to recruit me. Seems her time in Rosaria is coming to an end. She's abducted bearers from across the region and is looking to smuggle them back into Sambrec. After her brush with those beastmen on the road to Northreach, she hired herself an Imperial escort, which she wants me to join. She's dangerous, Sid, but I think I can stop her.
Then I'm going with you. I'll take care of the escort. You can see the bearers to safety. Where are they?
The Baum Archers, soon to break camp. You go on ahead. I'll follow once I've sent word back to the hideaway.
Thank goodness she was not the type of person to be like, no, I want to do it on my own, blah, 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 blah. There's only so much that being stubborn can do. Take it from somebody as stubborn as I am. Sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and ask for help there.
Ah, Clive, I was just about to send for you. I'd like you to take something to Sir Wade up in Eastpool. Seeds for planting. Thought it was about time they started growing their own food. I'll keep providing them with whatever they need in the meantime, of course. But if Eastpool's going to survive, it's got to be able to fend for itself. As have those poor bearers. They've lived their whole lives in servitude, but now they're their own masters. Small wonder they ain't got the foggiest how to provide for themselves. So it's up to us to teach them. And if you're wondering why you, well, the wagoneers taking supplies up that way have been coming back with more and more reports of Akashic around the village of late. Sir Wade's putting a brave face on it, but I think even he's starting to worry. And if he's likely to share those concerns with anyone, it's you.
You know, as a protagonist who will obviously get anybody to talk about anything. Alright.
Alright.
Thanks. Wouldn't ask if I didn't have to. There. That should be enough to keep him in Gazal Greens for a few years at least.
Ooh, Gazal Greens.
Gazal Greens.
Not the most mouth-watering crop, I'll admit. But they're hardy, they grow fast, and they fill a hole. Better that than something that'll wither away at first frost. And chocobos love them too,
Yep.
which is no small thing.
when I say all of us need to pull together to get Eastpool back on its feet, I mean all of us. They ain't exactly succulent, but cook 'em right, and they're just about bearable.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway,
Sounds like
Sir
most of my
Wade will
cooking.
know what to do with them. And if he don't, well, I'll go up there and show him myself.
I'm sure you will.
Alright. Well, whether y'all are staying or going, appreciate you guys popping in. I'll be here tomorrow for some more Kingdom Hearts 2 with my friend Suzie.
It doesn't still hurt.
We're doing some post-game nonsense here. Some just going through the cave up to the data fights and just getting ready for some of the hard stuff, in case y'all are interested in that as well. I'm not saying my goodbyes yet, but I see people coming and going, so just saying something else to see if you guys want to get, or that catch your interest.
Ah, Lord Rossfield. What brings you to Eastpool?
A delivery from Martha.
Gazal green seeds. While chocobos adore Gazal greens, their human masters find them significantly less toothsome, turning to them only in times of hardship, most often after their faithful seeds have already added to the pot. Already been added to the pot. Oh! Shit. They eat chocobos before they eat the Gazal greens. I guess that's a sign of how bad they are. I completely forgot that people actually eat them and it wasn't just chocobo food.
These are Gazal green seeds. Martha's keen to cut the apron strings then, is she? I jest, of course. You see, I had thought we might be able to revive the old wheat fields, but they'd long since gone to seed, only without the seeds.
Martha was hoping he might be able to show the bearers how to plant and tend these, so that they'll be able to fend for themselves.
That's not a bad idea. These bearers had only recently escaped their bonds before we brought them here. They know little of freedom, of providing for themselves and their loved ones. Unless we teach them how to live like free men, I fear that all we have achieved in bringing them here is to exchange one master for another. Not that myself and the Guardians have been the best example to them so far, subsisting almost entirely on Martha's charity as we do. It's about time we all started to provide for ourselves, bearers and Guardians alike. Unfortunately, we've been a little too busy of late to focus on much besides bolstering our defenses. There have been alarming reports of...
Akashic.
It's closing in. They're coming, Sir Wade. All of them.
Damn it all. I thought we'd have more time. Gather the men in the square. Send to the rest for reinforcements.
Yes, Sir Wade.
Don't worry about it. I'm your reinforcements.
The Horde.
Akashic. A veritable legion of them. They've been seen prowling around the northern reaches for a while now. We don't have the numbers to hold back a swarm that size. I had hoped to build a perimeter wall so that myself and the Guardians might be able to defend the village, but...
Now you're out of time.
Precisely. If reinforcements from the rest arrive before they do, we may just scrape through, but I fear that's rather an enormous if.
What if you could call on reinforcements from Eastpool?
You mean the bearers? We brought them here so they might live, not die, fighting for their lives.
So wait. You said you lack men to defend the village. Are the bearers not men? Do they not wish to see Eastpool saved? Though they may not be trained soldiers like your Guardians, what help they are able to offer could still prove the difference between victory and defeat.
You're right, my lord. I will appeal to them. My friends, I humbly beg your aid.
We Guardians are few and our enemies many. But I swear we can defeat them with you at our side.
You would send us to the slaughter. To serve as bait for those fiends so that you and your men might be spared. And to think we trusted you.
Oh, no.
Say what you will. A home is not worth dying for.
But it is worth fighting for.
Thank you, Martha.
Sir Wade fights to give you lot a chance. Just like I do. Just like Sid
Ooh,
does.
bring in the title theme.
We all wanted to give you a home where you could be free. And you got one, didn't you? This place, Eastpool. This is your village. Your home. And if you don't fight to protect what's yours, you'll lose it. You know I'm right. This world wants to take everything from you. Everything. Your homes, your freedom, your very lives. So then, are you going to stand by and let that happen to you? Are you going to accept fate like good little Bran did and die, having never stood up for yourselves? Or will you fight like free men and women?
What are you doing?
All right. Give me a sword. I never dreamt I'd have a home of my own. And now that I have, I don't want to lose it. I will protect what's mine, or die trying.
We all will. Free men and women, fighting together. For Eastpool! For Eastpool!
Bravo, Martha.
Don't mention it. Just promise me one thing. That you'll show them how freeborn fight.
Gladly.
Bravo, that was quite a speech there. Very well scripted.
Well, if it was numbers you were lacking, you certainly won't be now.
Thanks to you.
Me? Oh, I just love the sound of my own voice.
Lord Rossfield, my lady, we're ready.
So what's the plan of action?
We'll divide our forces into several small detachments, each made up of guardians, bearers, and guards from the rest. These will position themselves at strategic points around the village. Upon engaging with the Akashic, each detachment will keep the creatures occupied as best they can, steadily retreating all the while.
You're going to lure them into the village?
I am. We will have neither the time nor the resources to treat the wounded, so injuries must be avoided at all costs. Instead, we will focus purely on defense at first. By coordinating our withdrawal through the use of messengers drawn from among the bearers, we will aim to have the swarm converge at a point of our choosing. With luck, that point will be the village square, the perfect place for our most able warriors to surround them and fall upon them, and for you and I to finish them off.
A sound plan, but one that'll require a leader with a cool head and strong nerves to coordinate the retreat. I'd say you have both in abundance, Sir Wade, but you'll be needed. Please, leave the last of the fighting to me.
Ha! And let you have all the glory.
Sir Wade, they're here.
Then you know what you must do. We work together, everyone playing their part, each shielding the other that no man might fall, that Eastpool might live on. For Rosaria.
For Rosaria!
We've no time to argue, my lord. I'll do as you ask.
And I will do as you ask.
Suppose we'd better do our bit too, then, eh?
Right you are, Martha.
Time to defend Eastpool again. It's time for its survival. We're not gonna have another... Not gonna have another fucking...
And here it comes.
Don't have time to speak. No time to commentate. That might have been a little preemptive, but that's alright. Wave 3. And just in time for that.
Well done, Togo.
Good boy. Oh, really? That was it? I was just getting started.
Looks like that's the last of them.
Are we sure?
Rossfield, change of plan.
There it is.
What is it?
Owl from the rest. An Akashic curl's been sighted on Rhiannon's ride and is headed in their direction.
Well, the better half of her guard is here. So wait, how many Akashic remain in Eastpool?
Hard to say. My men are still facing some resistance, but I think the worst is behind us. I could order a detachment or two to fall back and...
Nope, I got it.
No. Let them finish the job. You stay here too, Sir Wade. Your men need you. I'll go after the Curl. Join me only when Eastpool is won.
If you're sure, my lord. May the Founder protect you.
Got a lot of people protecting me and a lot of people damning me. We will see which blessing is stronger here. Blessing or curse, I suppose I should say.
Come to tell me an Akashic curl's heading towards the rest? Get yourself down there. We can handle things here.
Alright.
This one's mine. The curl was sighted on Rhiannon's ride back towards Martha's Rest. Founder speed you, my lord.
Eastpool will be safe in our hands, my lord.
Where is Oscar? Wasn't Oscar supposed to be here helping with the rebuilding effort? I'm surprised I didn't see him around. I guess that was just in dialogue only. Kind of a shame.
Let's go.
Would think my squire would do better.
All right.
Bug off. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. And that's a curl. Besides, once I start the battle, y'all ain't gonna matter anyway. Well, if that's not a sign... Here we go again.
There it is. With me, Torgal.
Let's see, have I learned from my previous fights? Should not be yelling. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Not exactly anywhere close to perfect, but that's alright. Damn. I wasted that. It's alright. Well, thank you. I gotta thank that fence for fucking... getting in the way of the attack there. Yeah, I think I may have learned a thing or two from my previous girl fights. Practice makes perfect.
All right. Back to Eastpool.
These side quests are getting involved. I like it. Make it worth my while. So, how many survived?
Lord Rossfield. The Curl, is it?
Dead easily.
Thank the Founder for that. And for you, my lord. We were able to eradicate the rest of the Horde. I have guardians posted around the village to keep watch for further attacks, but all seems quiet for now. I hesitate to say it, but I think it might be over.
I think it might.
We did it. We saved Eastpool. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
No, Sir Wade. It's us who should be thanking you. You brought us together. Showed us what it means to fight for what you hold dear.
We never had nothing to call our own before. We didn't know what it meant to protect it, but now we do. We really do.
Forgive us, Sir Wade. You and your people saved us, and still we doubted you. But there's no doubt in my mind anymore. We're free men now, so we have to start acting like it. We have to fight to protect what's ours, to protect Eastpool. And we shall. We all shall. Together. This is our home. And if anyone or anything tries to take it away, they'll have us to answer to.
Come on then. Let's get to work.
This village isn't going to rebuild itself.
Again, Ultima's plan backfired immensely.
They're not slaves anymore.
No. They're Rosarians. Your father took pity on the bearer's plight, and I believe if he was still with us today, this is what he would have wanted.
I believe you might be right.
I shall remain here, my lord, and do what I can to help rebuild the village. After all, this is my home now too, and I could hardly call myself an Eastpoolian if I didn't pull my weight.
I think you'll find it's Eastpudlian, Sir Wade.
I'm sorry?
You should be proud all the same. I'll have to pull my weight too. Can't have the rest getting outclassed. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back.
Can we continue to count on your support, Martha?
Of course, and I'd be counting on yours too. Us Rosarians have got to stick together, haven't we?
Indeed we have.
And Clive, come by the Golden Stables when you get the chance. I ain't paid you for delivering them seeds yet.
All right. I will.
I'll take my payment and then some.
Lord Rossfield, do you remember our very first mission together? Clearing the goblins from the Stillwind Marshes?
How could I forget?
There's one sight that I shall never forget. You, facing off against that giant Morble. Not a trace of fear on your face.
God, that was
Since
a lifetime
that day, there
ago.
have been more than a few times when I felt like giving up. When the odds seemed so stacked in the enemy's favor, I thought I may as well just lay down my sword and surrender. But every time I would think back to the look in your eyes that day and remember what it means to be a shield. Know that whatever trials Eastpool may face, I shall never lose courage. Thanks to you.
So Wade, you have always been a true shield. I know that Eastpool, and indeed all of Rosaria, will be safe in your hands.
Thank you, my lord. I know the rest of the world will be safe in yours.
I'll do my best.
Thank you again for all you've done for me and mine, my lord. You may rest assured that Eastpool will be safe in my hands. Thanks to you.
I suppose that marks the end of this little side quest. Eastpool is going to be hopefully rebuilt and safe. Perhaps our services will be called on again, but that seems like kind of end of chain here.
The hero returns. It's lucky you came by when you did, eh? Not only did my seeds get delivered, but you went and saved Eastpool and all.
I just did what I could.
And it's only right that you get rewarded for it. Take it before I change my mind.
Thank you, Martha.
So, Eastpool's finally back on its feet again. And a home to free bearers. Who'd have thought we'd see the day, eh?
Well, it was your idea.
I know that, but I never stopped to think what it would mean. Bearers in charge of themselves, thinking for themselves, working for themselves. Like your hideaway, but not even hidden away. Though I suppose the rest ain't much different nowadays. You know, bearers living free like that reminds me of when I first met Sid. Loath as I am to recall that particular day.
I take it you didn't always see eye to eye. What happened?
Well, if you really want to know, I started doing what I do long before I met Sid. In fact, that's how I met him. Or at least how he came to meet me. He showed up at the stables one day, asking questions about who'd been buying up bearers. Founder knows what he thought I was doing with them. Running a hunt, poking around in their innards. Something awful anyway. Me, I thought he was a new constable. Thought the game was up. But somehow we both managed to work out what each other was about. And before I knew it, the cheeky arse was rattling on at me about how I was doing it all wrong. After all my hard work. Told me I was giving them relief but not freedom. That my bearers were still dying as slaves. Got right under my skin, it did. Told him if he didn't like it, he could bugger off and report me to the garrison. And do you know what he did? He smiled. And then he laughed. And then I did the same. We made a pact that day, that whenever one of us was in need, the other would always be there for him.
And you were?
Well, we both wanted the same thing. To make life better for bearers. Just like your dad. Do you know I was born right around the time Elwyn became Archduke? Growing up, I saw how he tried to change things. He certainly didn't lack for ambition, that one.
Indeed. But the loftier one's ambitions, the harder they are to achieve. Which is why those of us who follow in their footsteps need to finish what people like Sid and my father started.
Suppose you're right, aye. And if we don't manage it, there's always them who come after us. Good thing we've got a few half-decent sorts waiting in the wings, eh? It's almost enough to give you a little bit of hope.
Just a little.
Anyway, enough nattering. Better get back to work. Let's see about making everyone some dinner, shall we? The least the folks who saved Eastpool deserve is a hot meal. And you and me ain't gonna save the world on an empty stomach neither.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
All right. Very nice. And that's a level up for me. 43. Martha's Rest signboard. That's again. That seems like an end of chain thing to me. The emblem of Martha's Rest, personal fiefdom of the Golden Stable's indomitable landlady. To those with no love for the Empire, the settlement stands as an island of safety in a sea of anything but.
Don't worry, Clive. You went alone in this fight. Whenever you find yourself in need, be it of money, men, or a bowl of hot stew, the stable's door is always open.
Now, what was I saying before? Ah, yes. Ultima's plan backfired immensely, as I knew they would. I knew they would the moment that he started talking about trying to cut away the strings of consciousness or whatever bullshit he was saying.
Ambrosia won't help me here.
Okay. Well, fine then. Because in times of strife like this, in times of terror, fucking people wind up coming together. Sometimes the worst of enemies will wind up being the best of allies because they have a common cause to fight against. Cross the bridge. Cross the bridge. And causing the world to be in a state like this, it just... Well, it had one of two effects. Either it dipped people into despair, like we've seen, or it has urged people to fight even stronger, better. Just more.
Good. They haven't broken camp yet. How did Doris come to know a slaver, I wonder?
We've waited long enough. She's not coming. Ready the bearers. We're leaving.
Back to civilization, is it, Mom?
With all haste. Lest any of you lackwits start talking like these feckless bumpkins. I presume your men are ready. We've suffered too many delays as it is. Any more and I'll be docking your pay.
Yes, Mom.
Oh, but before you go, it appears we have company. Kill him.
What exactly was that hiding place there, Clive? But yes, he's right. You are welcome to try and fail. And while the rest of you guys are getting beat up in my tornado here, I'm going to make sure you can't heal or fucking enhance anybody here. Easy. Please, give me something harder. I say that half and half. My this game has a way of making me regret trying to challenge it.
So much for your escort.
You'll forgive me for not avenging my men. I'm not the swordswoman I used to be. I surrender. Do with me as you wish, Sid the Outlaw.
Sid!
Ah, Doris. I take it you're not here to rescue me from our brooding renegade? You know, I always wondered where you'd vanished to. But casting your lot with this criminal of all people...
Better fighting for a cause than killing for coin. I'm sorry, Sid. I should have told you sooner. This woman, my former master, once trained bearer children to be weapons in service of the highest bidder. She raised me like a daughter, and I did terrible things to earn her favor.
It wasn't all terrible, surely. We had our fun, too. You were always so eager to learn, and had such clever hands. All my other children took either to the blade or to the books. Always either or. But you proved yourself a master of both. That's why I kept you for my own. How about it, my little dagger? Care to swear that blade to me again?
Are you fucking dense, woman? Better to fight for a cause than kill for coin. She made her position absolutely clear. You are fucking delusional. Also, I don't know what if any of that was supposed to be convincing, but that just sounded like you speaking for the sake of listening to your own voice.
I never swore my blade to you, nor will I ever. I fight for a higher cause, to liberate the bearers of this world. Farewell, Master. Thank you for making me the weapon I am.
You always were a righteous child. Perhaps that's the reason I loved you so.
Oh, don't you fucking pull that. Don't fucking pull that. Should've killed her. You should've killed her.
What do you want to do with her?
I am not the killer she wanted me to be. Not anymore.
I'll be...
She no longer has friends in high places. The Dame does, though. Her connections at the Imperial Court will see that justice is done.
All right. If you're certain.
I am. And thank you for everything. Now, I better let these bearers know that they're safe.
And I should head back to the hideaway and put Cole's mind at ease.
Are we actually getting taken back to the hideaway? Well, I couldn't have fucking planned that out better. Pretty sure all of the wandering around the continent is done.
Doris's message just arrived. I hear you saved more bearers from being smuggled across the border.
I hope.
With
I
any
think.
luck, they'll be joining us in the hideaway shortly. Oh, and your letter. You don't need to worry about Doris anymore.
I'd been hoping as much. She mentioned one or two things in her report. So the slaver we'd been chasing all these months was her former master. Wish I'd known. She's been arrested, by the way, over in Sunbreak. Went quietly, or so we're told. And she won't be getting off lightly. The Empire may have no love for bearers, but it's none too fond of black market traders either. Can't have been easy for Doris.
I'm sure it wasn't. But don't worry. She'll be alright.
I hope so. Suppose you should know, eh? You had quite the past yourself before you came here, or so I understand. Anyway, thanks again, Sid. The Cursebreakers would be lost without Doris. And You, of course.
Keep up the good work, Cole.
All right. Yep. There's nothing else. Which means I was needed back at the hideaway anyway.
Come back.
Yo, Tet, you're making me feel bad.
Tell me we've run out of Papio nuts and all.
So what's this new blade?
The man himself.
I left you with more than enough time.
On that sword I promised you.
You didn't even start yet.
Funny, but none of this would have been possible without your help.
Come on, mate.
You remember Camille? We'll be using his leather work for the grip. The steel, meanwhile, will be tempered in a fire, burning the cinders you charmed out of old Zoltan here. And that whetstone from the Outer Isles, that'll be what gives the blade its edge. And the final flourish will be my talented colleagues' engraving.
A team effort led by the greatest blacksmith alive.
Now, save that talk till the thing's finished, yeah? Right. I'm ready if you are.
To the bellows it is, then.
How interesting that all of the work that we did for them, all of that comes together to make...
Well, bugger me. We actually did it.
Oh. Damn.
The sword to end all swords. Ragnarok.
Oh, no.
Quite something.
I trust you'll take good care of it.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Both of you.
So, does this make you pair the greatest craftsmen alive, then?
This? Nah. This was just following the footsteps of the greats of old. It'll take more than that to earn us our place in history. But we're up for the challenge. Here.
A list of materials.
Zoltan and I got talking on the long road back from Dravoist.
We reckon with those items there, we could craft something even better than the Ragnarok. Something worthy of a little...
Even better than Ragnarok. That's a high bar, isn't it?
That's a weapon I'd like to see. You leave this list with me.
I was hoping you'd say that.
One legend at a time, eh, lads? Before you start on the next, who fancies raising a cup to friendship reforged?
Good idea. No more drinking to forget my past. It's about time I had something to celebrate.
Then tap the kegs! Vulcan's boys are on their way!
Love how this section is literally just like tying loose ends. Oh. Tying loose ends one way or another. Gotterdammerung. Okay. Ragnarok 325. Okay. Ancient Ashen legend purports that one day the Age of Dominance will draw to a close in an epic clash of icons that sets the land ablaze, cleansing it of foulness and allowing for its rebirth. A clash they call Ragnarok. A very good fucking reflection of Norse mythology there. Bravo! And for those of you who do not know, Ragnarok is when the 9 realms are like all clash, and everybody who is waiting in Great Hall of my brain. I know this. I have read more than enough fucking mythology books to know this. how's the Rainbow Bridge to something, whatever. Like it's when the Nine Realms all come together, and it's basically like the end of the world there. Funny enough, Fenrir, who is supposed to be Torgal's kind of ancestor, is the pup, the dog that starts it all. The release of Fenrir is supposed to start Ragnarok. Valhalla. Duh. Valhalla is what I was trying to think of. That is a damn good looking blade there. Go to Damarog. Huh? I wonder if that... I gotta look that one up. That definitely sounds German. Well, first of all, let me take a look at that. Let me equip that sword there. Damn. Fucking black steel.
Trouble with your gear, or...
No, not at all. Blacksmith smooths. Following up on that.
I never thought me and Zoltan would ever speak again, let alone work together. And if it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't. You've been a good friend to me, Clive. The best.
Nice.
What do you want?
So, what do you need for God of Damarung? Just 375. God damn. So we need one more Orichalcum, and then 2 more things that are only available from the... Okay. From the bounties. Okay. If Ragnarok was forged to mark the War of the Gods, then God of Damarung, which means Twilight of the Gods, was forged to mark the fall of those self-same deities. Damn! I want it! I want it so badly! That's so cool! Also, what the fuck am I wearing that's not as good? Oh, we haven't gotten Ouroboros yet, right? Right, okay. Okay, I didn't miss out on anything. So we do have more potential for better equipment there. Let me actually, because we can actually get a good look at the appearances of the weapons here. So let me take a look at Rhinestone, Brightburn, Iceburn, Invictus. Ragnarok. Take a look here. Yeah, that's a really cool looking sword there.
No need to thank me for the sword. I'm happy just to be here. You've built a fine home for yourselves, and I can see why Blackthorn's so taken with it. Look after the old bastard for me, will you?
You can look after him yourself. Oh, okay.
Be sure to pay me a visit. Snotty will let you in.
Well, you better come back to make the God of Damarung.
Do you reckon we finally got to the bottom of Blackthorn's troubles then? That'd be something, eh?
Definitely, again, seems like tying up loose ends there.
Have you tried Molly's lemon tarts? I've never had.
Now, what am I going to get from this quest? Gonna get even more of an expanded inventory? That's what we've been getting so far. Oh yeah, Canver's fucking done. Been there, done that. Odin really making made. Maybe I should have been talking to the people around the hideaway a little bit more. Speaking of everybody having their own lives.
The Enterprise, I mean. Ah, Sid. Wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Please stop talking.
So, is it good news or bad?
Spherical Echo. No doubt the Fallen had some other purpose in mind for these contrivances than to stud them in a smelter, and would ridicule us for doing so, just as a man of the present day might laugh at a goblin using a carefully filed cogwheel to enliven his hat.
Good, thankfully. Here.
That's brilliant! Thanks a blimmin' million! I'll fit him to the smelter right away! May I present to you the Telemon Furnace? Bad, is she?
Perfect.
She's a beauty.
You saved my bacon again, Sid, and I ain't about to let your good deed go unrewarded.
It's fine, really. My bag's flexible enough already.
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure I can make a few improvements to it yet.
You could just buy me a bigger...
How about that clasp? Looks a bit stiff. Reckon you could loosen it up and make some more room? And I reckon I know how. With a new alloy we've been working on. The Telemon Furnace was just what we needed to perfect it. It's a metal, see? So it's lovely and strong, but it's also, well, stretchy, if you can believe it.
Stretchy metal. Well, if you insist.
More inventory, more inventory.
You'll love it, I promise. So, what do you reckon?
It's actually quite ingenious. Thank you, Owain.
A wine?
You earned it.
Gross.
And I wanted to get some practice in using that metal anyway. Reckon we'll have all kinds of uses for it around the hideaway. Can't think of any right now, but that's our job, innit? Dreaming up new ways to make life easier around here. Maybe even out there, too. One day, the whole world's gonna know about the inventions you've helped us put together. That bag of yours will be the first of many. You mark my words.
They'll hardly believe their eyes, I'm sure.
Expanded potion satchel. Were the same exotic alloy from which the clasp of the satchel was fashioned be used to craft a suit of armor, it should certainly be supple enough to accommodate even the greediest knight's ever-expanding belly. Inventory maximized, inventory maximized. Nice! With 2 Ds. Upgrade consumable potency and inventory slots to their maximum.
Right then. Let's get back to work. These world-changing inventions...
I am just getting more and more good shit. And I love it. And speaking of more and more good shit. Hello, Desiree.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Faith undying. We are the shadows that quicken the firebird's wake, and from the shadows do serve our Lord and those who would be his wings. The undying.
You earned this.
Hate that. Still fucking hate that. It's fine. Alright. We're gonna swift shot. A moment's hesitation can lead to an eternity in the grave. Rosset the Older. With charge time for charge magic by 2.2 seconds. Don't necessarily think I need that. I feel like ironically enough, I feel like my charge magic I use the least, but it's good to have anyway. Keeping all this shit just in case I want to try some different combat style, perhaps in like a new game plus or something.
Go on then. You're rubbing me blind, you know. You'll not find a better price than that. You got out else? I'll be thankful you got that much.
Yeah, Karen. Yeah. And lost there will be found. It's hard to believe Theo was gone. Every morning I awake, I expect him to be there at the stables, watering the birds, readying the packs. Yet he is not, and it is everything I can do to not fall to my knees and weep. Still, I know I have to move on, but that doesn't mean I have to forget. My brother and I have built all we have here together, and as long as I still have the caravans, he will ever be with me. And I shall honor him in death by carrying on what he strove for in life. That is what I chose. Eloise. Courage to fight. What happened in Eastpool with the Bearers and the Guardians have been a long time coming, and I'm proud it could finally happen in Rosaria. The duchy of old may be no more, but Archduke Owen's dream still burns in the hearts of many, and it is through victories such as these that the fire will spread. It's only the beginning, Clive, but a fine beginning it is. Couple new additions here. The emblem of Martha's Rest, personal fiefdom of the landlady of the Golden Stables, and an island of safety and security in a sea of anything but. It shows a sleeping chocobo, and the guardians and bearers of Rosaria can rest easy, safe in the knowledge that they have a friend in Martha. And then we have the Crimson Caravan signboard. The emblem of the Crimson Caravans, porters of wide renown based in the markets in the town of Boklad. It depicts a laden chocobo. After the death of her brother and confidant Theodore, Eloise chose to continue the work they had begun together, freeing bearers from slavery, just as she had freed him so many years before. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up our journey around here today. I desperately want to do more. But we had a lot to do in terms of side quests here.
The stew's awfully thin these days.
And it is quarter after 3 in the morning.
Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot of
And I highly doubt that it would be a very good idea to continue anything right now. So next time, we head into the infirmary and check on Joshua after his battle with Odin. And come up with a plan to attack the final Mother Crystal in Ash. But for now, that is about it. As I said, if you're interested in more, tomorrow, Thursday, I will be back on here on Twitch for some more Kingdom Hearts 2 with my friend Suzie, where we do some post-game stuff, heading towards the data fights and getting ready for the real kind of bonus fights. And if you want to see even more than that, everything down in the description below. Got the links to all the channels of my group there. And I will see you guys either here on Twitch or on YouTube soon enough. Should you decide to follow, that is. If not, thank you guys for sticking around for as long as you could. And I hope to see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.